Hi, I'm Mike Carmian, Superintendent of Sandusky Schools, and I'd like to take a few moments to talk to you today about the upcoming bond vote that we're going to be asking voters to approve on August 7th. The bond vote will be for a $7.3 million bond, a 1.62 mils increase in property taxes during the first year. And the reason for the bond, there are multiple reasons. But the main reason is that we need to continue to make capital improvements and invest in our schools. Just as we are homeowners, where we need to upgrade our home or our business, we need to do the same thing at school. Our middle school was built in 1965. The high school was built in 1993. Over the years, there's been maintenance taking care of some of the things, but the general fund doesn't allow us to put in the large sums of money to fix items like roofs and parking lots, sidewalk repairs, and so on. There's also in this bond issue some safety upgrades. Now, I don't want to say our schools aren't safe, because they are, but a 1993 building, built in 1993, is a different standard than what we expect in 2012. There's a lot more things as far as safety in schools in the year 2012. A couple of examples I'll give in a few minutes. In the bond package, there's also technology improvements in infrastructure or instructional technology. Tied to this is also a consolidation of schools. And I realize that whenever you're shrinking down in size, it's a difficult situation. People are comfortable going to the schools, the elementary school that they've been going to, or middle school for many years. But I want to start this part of this talk by talking about some numbers. And I want to talk about enrollment. 5 years ago, our schools enrolled 1,319 students. Last September, we had 1,088. That's 231 less students. The projection for 5 years from now is 943 students, K-12. That's another drop of 145 students. Also, this past school year, the Maple Valley Elementary, the occupancy rate was 70%, the middle school occupancy rate was 55%, and the high school occupancy rate was 60%. We have a lot of open classrooms. I don't want to call it wasted space, but you could term it that. With the consolidation of a K-6, 7, 12 structure with the two buildings, our new elementary or middle school would be 98% occupied, and the high school would be 92% occupied. Now, this consolidation effort has been an ongoing talk for many years. It's time now that we right the ship and downsize into two buildings. Now, consolidation is going to happen whether we pass a bond or not. It will not happen at the start of the 2012 school year, but 1 year later. And the goal is to pass a bond, do the renovations needed at the middle school, so make that a K-6 building, and move all of our Maple Valley students over there, with 7th and 8th grade moving to the high school. Some might question why we would want to add 4 kindergarten classrooms onto the middle school when we have classrooms available and still will at the Maple Valley. There's many reasons for that. The main reason is that the new classrooms will be up-to-date, modern kindergarten classrooms. The classrooms over in Maple Valley were built in 1956. And, that's my birth date here. And so, they're old, they're outdated. But our students, the kindergartners, will be on the same campus as all the other K-6 students. And one of the goals of the committee was to look at K-6, 7, 12, 2 buildings on one campus, instead of having a part of our students across town. Also, another reason for consolidation is the cost savings. I estimate approximately $362 million $362,000 cost savings in the first year of consolidation. And that's due to less staff, whether it be custodial, secretarial, and administrative staff. Also, we won't be needing to make bus runs across town twice a day, which adds up quite a bit. Also, the heating and the electrical bill will be a lot less. If you take $362,000 per year for the 15-year life of the bond, that's well over $5 million savings in the general fund. Now, some of the other concerns that are out there that I want to point out is that part of the bond would also be the demolition of the north wing of Maple Valley. The cost of that is approximately $200,000. Now, we could leave that set open and not spend the $200,000. People have asked me, well, won't it be used? Couldn't it be used down the road for something else? Or maybe if we grow, or we'll have to move back. Well, the cost to upgrade that part of the building right now is a little over $300,000. $200,000 to tear down, or $300,000 to improve and leave it vacant, not feasible. If it sits vacant for 2 years, then we have to bring it totally up to code, and the cost would be much more than $300,000. And another issue would be 2, 3, 4 years down the road, 5, 10 years down the road. If it's set vacant that long, where would the money come from at that time to upgrade it to where it needs to be? So these are all factors that our committee looked at, it's a difficult decision. I know the north wing at Maple Valley, the Maple Valley isn't going to be vacated. The ISD still will rent their part of the building. The gym will still be used by our students, and the open area will still be the open area, and it will be used for community events or community functions. And I've already had 2 businesses talk to me about possibly renting part of that area. So that would be extra income for our schools. Specifically, though, I want to discuss some safety things. As I mentioned earlier, this bond costs, part of it is for safety upgrades. Our schools, if you walk in the middle school right now, and even the high school, you can go in the school, any adult or anybody can go into school and go wherever they want, and nobody's going to really see them maybe sneak in there. That's how schools were built in the past. Now, we need to have a second entry, double doors into the buildings where people are funneled into the office areas where they check in and then go out another door into the main building. Another item I want to talk about is the intercom systems in the middle school and high school, which are tied to the clock systems. $60,000 is what it would take to in the bond to fix that and have new. If either the middle school or high school intercom systems broke, there are no replacement parts right now. We would have to take $60,000 out of our general fund in order to pay for that. Our general fund dollars out of Lansing, as we know, keep shrinking. And so, I'd rather put that $60,000 into textbooks like we are this school year for math textbooks. So I encourage you to look at the issues, ask questions, get the facts. I encourage you to, if you have a question, email me at school, on the school webpage, call me. If there's a community meeting out there and like me to come and discuss this with the group, I'd be more than happy to. Because again, this is an investment into the future of our schools. Upgrading our schools, the facilities, upgrading the safety issues, and the consolidation. And then final, I just want to mention a couple other statistics. The 4 kindergarten classroom addition is just under $1 million. To renovate the Maple Valley School to make it a K-6 building is about $1,300,000. Again, keeping 3 schools isn't feasible when we have shrinking and less students. We have to think long term. It's not just what's it going to look like in the next couple years, it's what's it going to look like 5, 10, and 15 years out. I do know that times are tough, and there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of funds to do this. A $100,000 house is $50,000 taxable. This is $81 more on the taxes per year. I look at one big ticket item here is the roofs. I started this with talking about that. The 2 roof repairs at the 2 buildings are just over $1 million. 1/7 of the bond issue is for roof repairs. And another $500,000 is for the asphalt and the pavement, just the upgrades. These are things that need to be done whether we consolidate it or not. So I encourage you to, if you're not registered, to please do so by the registration deadline. I believe that's July 7th, excuse me. No, 9th. And the vote, remember, is August 7th, and that vote will take place at your city office or your township office this year. Again, thank you for your continued support. Sandusky is a great community. We have great students, and we have a great community here. And we need to, hopefully we can invest and move forward and be progressive in what we're doing. And I thank you for your support. Give me a call if you have any questions. Thank you.